You are viewing Western Washington University's Lockdown Drill Orientation. Today, you will be learning about options for consideration during acts of violence. Thank you in advance for your participation in this drill and taking personal responsibility for your safety. This orientation will provide you with strategies and options in the rare instance of an act of violence or active shooter incident. This lockdown drill orientation will cover the following elements: lockdown drill date and expectations, the Western Alert System, taking personal responsibility, situational awareness, and options for taking action in the event of an act of violence or active shooter situation. Prior to the chosen date of the lockdown drill, one should expect to receive an email that includes a handout of instructions to follow for the upcoming drill. Once you receive this email, it is expected that you print out the instructions and have them available for use during the lockdown drill itself. On the day and time of the drill, you should expect to see and hear the initiation of the Western Alert Test. You will receive emergency test notification through various media channels, including text alerts and building annunciations. Once the drill begins and you see or hear one of these alerts, follow the lockdown drill handout instructions and practice different options for responding to an active shooter or act of violence scenario. Your last step should be to complete the feedback form found online on the Public Safety website. Here are some facts to keep in mind when practicing different responses to an act of violence. In most cases, there is no pattern or method to the selection of victims by an active shooter. Acts of violence are unpredictable and evolve quickly. Prior preparation and training can reduce fear, anxiety, and losses that accompany such events. Now, you might be wondering, how will I be notified of an act of violence? Protocols are in place to notify individuals as quickly as possible upon determination of an existing threat. Multiple methods of communication are used, and the message alert shared on campus will contain the most accurate information available at the time. Be aware that situations evolve rapidly, so details may be limited depending on the circumstance. Western uses a variety of alert communication methods so that the message can be spread as quickly and effectively as possible. The following methods of communication may be used during an emergency: text messages, desktop alerts on computers logged into Western's domain, email, building annunciation, social media such as Facebook and Twitter, and Western's emergency and home web pages. Each person needs to take personal responsibility for preparing themselves for all emergencies. When planning for an emergency, think about your potential actions in different scenarios. In preparation for an emergency or drill, educate yourself on the type of emergency or how to respond in certain situations. And finally, remember to practice. You can easily do this by participating in drills, practicing a sense of awareness similar to defensive driving, and staying relaxed but observant of potential hazards or threats around you. Please take the time to watch this short video and educate yourself in the case of an active shooter or act of violence. As a warning, this video contains scenes that some viewers may find disturbing. If for some reason this video will not play on your computer, go to emergency.wwu.edu to view it.
We have an active shooter. Stand by for further information.
Tragedies such as the 2007 mass shooting on the campus of Virginia Tech, the 2009 shooting at the Fort Hood, Texas military post, and the 2011 attempted assassination of Representative Gabrielle Giffords at a public appearance in Arizona are all examples of active shooter situations. An active shooter is an individual actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people inside an occupied structure or outside in a populated area. In most cases, there is no pattern or method to their selection of victims. Active shooter situations are unpredictable and evolve quickly. It is important to be prepared for such an event. Make it a practice to identify potential escape routes and have a plan in mind, even if you are just visiting a facility. In the event of a shooting at your location, you must quickly determine the most reasonable way to protect your own life. You will need to determine if the best course of action is to evacuate or to hide. Call 911 when it is safe to do so. If there is an accessible escape route, attempt to evacuate. Be sure to leave your belongings behind. Help others escape if possible, but do not attempt to move wounded people. Evacuate regardless of whether others agree to follow. Warn individuals not to enter an area where the active shooter may be, and follow the instructions of any police officers. If evacuation is not the best option, find a place to hide where the shooter is less likely to find you. And be sure your hiding place does not trap or restrict you or your options for movement. Consider the difference between cover and concealment. Cover will protect you from gunfire, and concealment will hide you from the view of the shooter. Quickly choose the best option. If you are caught out in the open and cannot conceal yourself or take cover, you might consider trying to overpower the shooter with whatever means are available. To protect your hiding place, lock the door if you can. Block the door with heavy furniture, and close, cover, and move away from windows. Hide behind large items such as cabinets or desks. Remain quiet. Silence your cell phone and/or pager. Even the vibration setting can give away a hiding position. When you call 911, remember to tell the operator the location of the active shooter. If there are multiple shooters, physical description of and number of weapons held by the shooter, as well as the number of potential victims at the location. When law enforcement arrives on the scene, their primary goal is to eliminate the threat and stop the shooter as soon as possible. First responders will not be able to stop to help injured persons until the environment is safe. Knowing what to expect will help keep you calm and allow law enforcement to quickly neutralize the threat. Officers may arrive in teams with tactical equipment such as vests, helmets, and rifles. They will need to take command of the situation. Expect to experience officers shouting orders and even pushing people to the ground for their safety. It is possible that officers from multiple jurisdictions will arrive on the scene. When law enforcement officials arrive, it is important that you keep your hands visible at all times. Avoid making any sudden movements. Avoid pointing, screaming, and/or yelling. Put down any items. Immediately raise your hands and spread your fingers. Remain calm and follow instructions. Do not stop to ask officers for help when evacuating. Just proceed in the direction from which officers are entering the location. For more awareness resources, please visit dhs.gov/critical infrastructure.
Situational awareness is knowing what is going on around you. Observe your surroundings by taking different routes into and out of buildings to become familiar with all possible escape routes. Identify the exits in and out of the rooms and buildings you spend time in. Try to find at least 2, in case one is blocked or otherwise inaccessible at the time of emergency. Familiarize yourself with equipment in rooms, such as fire extinguishers and movable furniture. We recommend 3 options for action in case of an active shooter or active violence event. The first option is to run or escape if it is possible. In case that escape is not possible, the next option is to hide. And the final and last resort option is to fight. If it is safe and there is an accessible escape route, get out and run as far away from the area as you can. Once you are at a safe distance from the event, call 911. If you cannot run or escape the situation, find a location to hide, cover, or conceal yourself. If you are in a room, lock and block the door if possible. Turn off any lights in the area and silence your phone to minimize the possibility of drawing attention. If you are in a group, spread out. Don't huddle together. Try to conceal yourself as best you can. The idea behind this option is to make it as hard as possible for the shooter to see, find, or get to you. As a very last resort, fight. Find anything to use as a weapon, such as a fire extinguisher, chair, scissors, or 3-hole punch, and act aggressively. Prepare yourself mentally. If it is between you and the shooter, we want you to survive. Officers will be dispatched as soon as they are alerted of the situation, so keep fighting until they arrive on scene. Western has several counseling resources available to everyone on campus. If you are concerned or anxious about the drill, please feel free to contact a counselor using one of the phone numbers below. If you are a student, please call the Counseling Center at 360-650-5600 3164. If you are an employee at Western, please call the Washington State Employee Assistant Program at 877-3313-4455. In summary, during this lockdown drill, the Western Alert System will send you a test message through multiple channels on the date and time of the drill. The lockdown drill will occur at the same time as the Western Alert test, so practice in a manner you feel most comfortable. Personal responsibility means to plan, prepare, and practice in case of an emergency. Be sure to take mental notes of your surroundings and potential evacuation routes during the drill. Also, please provide feedback through the online survey found on the Public Safety website, or feel free to send a paper copy of the survey to University Police at mailstop 9130. Remember, in the event of an act of violence or active shooter, your three options are to run, hide, or fight. If you have any questions or concerns, please call the University Police or the Environmental Health and Safety Office at 360-650-3064. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. We hope the orientation was helpful in preparing you for the upcoming drill. You can provide feedback by clicking the link in this slide.